Hey guys, wanted to pop on here. I've been thinking about something this morning, this weekend, that I wanted to share with you guys, especially in light of our celebration month and what a big month this is, as I think we have maybe 10 of us going for promotions this month. September's gonna be a really big month, and I wanted to touch base about something that's pretty near and dear to my heart, something I talk about pretty regularly. Any of you guys have been with me for any length of time, you know this is something I feel pretty strongly about, and it's something that's often overlooked, especially for people like us who are our own bosses. We are entrepreneurs. We are the deciding factor for what our schedule looks like, and it's really easy to not give that as much weight as it should have. Hey, Jen. I'm gonna jump in instead of waiting for people to hop on today, so you can catch the replay if you need to. A lot of you guys know, I posted Friday, I think, here, that I was working towards a really big goal, and I did not know if I was going to make it. And for me, in this case, this goal is something I've had my eye on for a couple years, and I'm only now in the position to be able to really work for it. And if I missed my goal in August, then that would affect some stuff for me in the spring. So last week was really, really hard. I was far enough away from my numbers that I wasn't sure that I would actually be able to make it. And I thought about, my thought process was, there's no way. You know, this is too big of a goal. This is too much for me right now. This is not where I'm at. I don't know that I can do it. Hey, Kathy. And I don't know that even if I try, I may not get it. And then I was like, whoa, hold on, Melanie, did you just hear what you said to yourself? Like, you just gave yourself permission to not even try. And it was this stop and think moment, because for real, what was that all about? I have a goal, and that gives me focus. That gave me something to work for. So at the beginning of last week, I was thinking, you know, even if I work for this, I really don't know that I can make it. And it can be discouraging to set a goal and not get there. And that's regardless of where you are at in Norwex, where you're at in life, where you're at in anything. I mean, we all like to feel like we have succeeded and we've done what we set out to do. And what I have found is that often, because we're afraid of not getting what we worked for, we just don't set goals and we don't work for it. So last week was a rough week. It's been a really rough last month and a half, 2 months. And I'm working towards this goal, and I was questioning if it's even worth it, because I may not be able to get it. And I decided finally, you know, I'm going to buckle down, and this goal is worth working for. So, you know, the week ended on Saturday. Friday night, I still wasn't sure if I could do it. Saturday morning, I still wasn't sure if I could do it. And, up until 1 minute before the month rolled over, I was not sure. I was working like crazy, and I submitted my final parties and helped my final consultants engage. And I did it. I reached a goal that I really didn't think was possible. And I knew going into it that I was going to have to work my tail off. And I didn't even know if I'd be able to do it, even working that much. But it was a big goal for our family, and for, hey, Crystal, for me personally, it was a big goal. And for our family, it was a difference in almost $700 in commission. And, if I had not wanted that goal so badly, if I hadn't set that goal in the first place, and I had not wanted it, then trust me, I would not have worked as hard last week. I would have said, yeah, I mean, that sounds nice, but that's not for me. That's not my goal. That's not what I'm working for. That's like, that can't happen. But because I set that goal before the month even started, and because I had my why, I knew why I was working for that goal, that gave me the motivation I needed to get creative last week, to keep pushing, to keep working, to not give up all the way up into the very last 60 seconds of our month rolling over. And I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. Last week was a hard week, and it's hard when you're working for something and you don't know if you're going to get it. Like, it's a lot easier to work towards something when you know you are going to get it at the end of, whatever time you have set for yourself. That's pretty great. But the reality is that's not the case. When we're working towards something, it's not guaranteed. It's a goal for a reason. It's something we have to work for, something that's going to take effort on our behalf. And where I think that this is so important is, okay, if you don't set goals, big, hairy, scary goals, like it's not a goal unless you're working for it. If you don't set those goals in your business for every single month, how many parties are you going to have on your calendar? How many parties are you going to hold? What are you going to reach in sales? How many consultants are you going to add to your team? If you don't set those goals, then it's going to be really easy to be coasting along in your month and be content with where you're at. And say, yeah, I probably couldn't have done any better. I'll just, I'll be happy with this. But what if you could do better? What if you could get better? What if setting goals is the difference between adding $750 into your paycheck for that month? Like, think about what you want out of this business and don't be afraid to go for it. That's what I want you to take away from this. That's what I've been thinking about, just the importance. We don't like to set goals because we're afraid of failing. And we're afraid of other people knowing that we set goals and failed. But when you know someone who has worked for something, who has set goals and they've worked for something and they didn't reach that goal, did you think, well, you are clearly a loser? No, you watch and see what they do with that. Do they give up and get frustrated and get angry and just throw it all in? Like that saying, don't slash your other 3 tires just because you got 1 flat tire. No, you fix the flat tire and you move on with life. When you're looking at someone else that they have gone for a big goal, they have worked hard for this, if they don't reach that goal, you don't think, well, clearly you are a dummy. No, you look and see, what do they do after that? Is that it? Do they give up? Are they done? That was too tough for them and they can't take it? Or do they, pick themselves up and go again and do better and do differently and work harder? And that's what we look for. But when we're the ones setting the goals, we feel like, oh, well, everyone's going to look down on me if I don't reach the goal. You know what? When people are watching, what they care about most is your attitude with it and the way you work for it. And that's what matters even more than actually the end result of reaching that goal. Because sometimes we don't reach them, or sometimes we don't reach them in the time frame that we set for ourselves. So you step back, you reevaluate, you decide, is this something that I need to go for again? Is this something I need to change? Is this still a good direction? But you do it with intention, okay? So as you're doing this business, whether you are doing this small time, big time, full time, like wherever you are falling in this, whatever you want from this business, think about it and be intentional, because this business is not just going to happen without you doing anything. You happen to this business, okay? And you are the only one who's going to work for your dreams. You are the only one who's going to work for your goals. And if you don't have goals, what are you working towards? You will be happy with whatever happens, and you won't realize how much potential you're missing out for yourself. So this month, this is a huge month. We've got some really big incentives coming from our team, from different leaders, from Norwex. You guys, this month, I don't know if I've been so excited about a month all year. Well, at least not since VP and promoting. This is a really big month. So be thinking about, what do you want out of this business? If you're tired of where you're at right now, if you're tired of where your calendar is, if you're tired of how few parties you have, or where your team is, do something different about it. Okay? Get busy. Think about what you want and then go for it. Reach out to your upline and say, hey, I'm tired of coasting. I'm tired of waiting for this to happen to me. I'm tired of just dreaming without action. I want to do something to make my business what I want it to be. Tell your upline that. Let them know, this is what I see my struggle is going to be. I'm going to have a hard time getting the parties I want. I have a really hard time turning parties into solid bookings. I have a hard time with sales. whatever you struggle with in this business, it's a skill. It is something you can learn. So don't coast. Don't settle for whatever happens, because if you settle for that, that is all it will ever be. Okay? No one else is going to work for your dreams except for you. And if you aren't willing to work for your dreams, you will end up working for someone else's dream. So decide what you want out of this business. Don't be afraid to dream with Norwex. Don't be afraid to think big. Don't be afraid to talk to your upline and say, I don't know if this is possible. But this is, if I'm honest with myself, this is what I would really, really love to see. Can you help me? Because I promise you, your upline is here to support you and wants you to be successful and wants this to be a good thing for you, whether that means doing 1 party a month or 1 party a quarter or 10 parties a month or anything above or beyond that. Your upline is here, and our team is here to help support you. So stop waiting for this business to happen and you choose what direction you want to take your business to. Don't be afraid to set the big goals. And don't be afraid to ask for help breaking down those goals. How do you reach those goals? Whether that's, you have monthly goals that you're working towards every single month, or whether in a year you want to be at a certain spot, financially, in leadership, in whatever it is. Think about it. Take some time. Give yourself direction and focus, and then break it down into goals for what you're going to do. Even if you do not reach a goal in a given month, you will be better for having worked for it. And that's what I held on to last week when I was working so hard and I didn't know if I was going to reach my goals. But I knew even if I didn't reach my goal for August, I would be in a better place for September because of having worked for it. And if I hadn't had those goals, you can believe I would not have worked nearly as hard to reach those numbers. But I had those goals, I worked for those goals, and I reached those goals. And I can tell you it was a fantastic feeling celebrating that when the month rolled over. So think about your goals this month. Talk to me, talk to your upline, post in here. Cheer on others who are setting their big, hairy, scary goals that they're going for, that they are shaking in their boots because it's such a big deal, okay? Your goals are big for you, their goals are big for them. That is good. They can be different, they can be the same, but what's important is that you're intentional with what you want out of this business. Because if you don't know that, you will not know whether or not you have gotten that. And if you don't know that, then what are you working for? All right, I said it was Tuesday morning thoughts, but really it's more like Tuesday afternoon thoughts, and I'm gonna pop off. But you guys, this business is what you want out of it. It's what you make out of it. It's what you put into it. Okay? Dream big, and I'll see you around.